live in a while. But I'm out taking advantage of the beautiful weather, working on some projects. Now, some of you know in the past, I had a whole bunch of these cherry cookies. It was like last Christmas and this Christmas, and I treated a bunch of them with the penacryl for preservation solutions, and some of them I didn't, just to have something different and to see how well the preservation solutions penacryl worked. So I was like, well, that'll be cool. But I had a bunch of the cookies that I didn't treat with the penacryl. So I mean, some people like it, but I figured, you know what? Let's take advantage of the imperfection of the fact that it checked like this. So I figured I have another one over there. So I do a live to kind of show you how I made it look like that. I thought it'd be something you might be interested in. If you make cookies and they're not perfect, you know, they got checks in them, but let's embrace the imperfection, and I'll make stools and stuff out of these. So let me switch places with you on this one. We'll put this one where that one is, so we're in the camera view a little better. So that's our goal. And how do we get to that goal? Well, we got to get, I got different stains here. That one right there is Province. This one is walnut. And this one's gold oak, and I'm almost out of that. And I got a rag for each one. So, and a little teeny, just a little teeny brush like that. So, let's just have a little fun with it. It's such a beautiful day out. I figured I'd just do a little live and have some fun. Probably a little early in the morning. Many of you might be in church, but maybe not. So, I'm going to try to keep this from getting all of my good shirt. Probably not the best thing to do, but come out and do this. But I got chores I got to go do. But so I just take this dark walnut, and because I don't want to have to fill all these, I kind of like it being checked like that. I'll finish it with like a Valspar exterior grade finish. But you just got to take and let it run down in there and get inside the check like this. It'll run through, and you will use more of your stain up, because you got to kind of overdo it and let it just really get down in there. This creates a really neat effect too. It gives it a depth, and it's dark down inside like it's aged. So I'll kind of go around like maybe halfway around and kind of let that stuff get in there. But you got to go back like this right here. You got to be kind of quick about it, because you don't want that to stand out, those lines. So then I go around the sapwood and start off kind of just blending it in into the heartwood. We'll go back and do more. But basically, it's like a 3-tone series is what you're going to do. Just let it get into the bark really good. So you kind of work your way around like that. And I just use Minwax. Minwax works fine. Minwax stain. So spin it around here. You got, like I said, you don't want that to be like that for too long, because it'll leave a line where it's darker. But in order to get the finish down inside, you got to kind of soak it on there pretty good. Same when you go to finish it with a clear. Just got to let it run down in there. These little brushes, you can pick them up cheap. You can get like 50 packs of them and stuff like that. All right, now I got it down there. I just want to look at each side, make sure it kind of drooled itself in there. Drooled itself down in there. Kind of look at both sides. Sometimes I go back over it, and you want to be kind of quick. Get the stain. Let it really soak in there good. It's ingrained, so it's gonna take quite a bit. And this is cherry, and I know I'm putting dark walnut on it, but we're going for a rustic look. So, all right, I want the outside to be darker than kind of like the inside. So then I just take a rag. I used it already. Just kind of wipe off some of the excess here. Around there like that. You see how it's darker on the outside? And I used a grinder sander and left swirls in it like it went through a giant mill. I did that on purpose. We want this, we're embracing imperfection is what we're doing. All right, so now we got done the dark walnut. And this is kind of a combination that I do all the time when I got checks on lumber. Because you want that to be dark down in there. It gives it like a look like it dried, you know, old lumber. And that's what you're trying to go for. And then I take some of the golden oak, and this will kind of lighten it up a little bit. But you want to make sure you use all the same, you know, finishes, or you'll have an issue. Now I got to find my rag. I used the wrong one. And this will kind of give it kind of like a goldish kind of look, even over the darker stuff. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not, but it gives it kind of a golden look. And when you rub it in on the outside with the dark, it just makes the wood look like it's really old. You know, that's the whole point of doing this, is I'm trying to make it look rustic, taking advantage of the checks. I mean, a lot of people may fill them with epoxy. I'm not filling with epoxy because they're not going to grow anymore. It's just very, very dry. So, and that's kind of how you do it. And when I go to put the legs on it, sometimes I'll use this Provence. Provence is really nice. And I won't use the darker stuff. But this makes all the rings. What'll happen is, when you do it like that, it makes all the growth rings stand out, because it'll, right where they intersect, there's like little pores. So the darker color will go in there and soak in those areas more. And then when you put the golden oak or whatever, so it makes all your years of growth rings really stand out. So I think it's kind of neat. Like I say, I usually put like 3 legs under these. Just make them little stools. Sometimes I make them taller, sometimes I make them shorter. Only had a few of these, but I'm getting ready to go to the mill and cut a whole bunch more for the next year or so. And I'm going to be doing a whole nother round of treatment, as I had a big cherry tree fall over. So I'm like, yay, I sold some of the logs. But so you got to imagine this. I'll do a follow-up. This will be nice and glossy, finished with like an exterior Valspar. I still have to do the other side. That's how rough it looked before I started. So that kind of gives you a finished look. I think people will like it. Let me know in the comments. Some people like them to be perfect with no checks, and some people love the checks. They love the fact that it's not perfect. And then like right here, where this larger check is, right here, when I put my leg on there, I'll span this area with the screws just to ensure that it doesn't check anymore. But these actually didn't do too bad. Out of about 60 cookies, 3 of them kind of really went crazy and they weren't usable. And actually I cut them in half and made like shelves out of them. I mean, you use every piece you can, right? So there's that piece. And this piece. So each one came out a little bit different, the way it finished in there. See if I can get that to stand up where you can see it. I gotta transfer my hands to the backside. So kind of like a rustic, just, you know, these aren't perfect, and I want to embrace the imperfectness of them. So I'll be doing a lot more projects like this now that it's finally warming up and the birds are chirping and the leaves are starting to bloom and the flowers are coming out. It's a good time to spend a lot of time outside in the shop, just outside enjoying building stuff. So I'll be doing a few videos like this. Probably the lives will be like this. I probably won't do actual videos. I'll do lives like this. So give me a big thumbs up. Give me a shout out. I appreciate it. Hope you guys are having a, I guess, fantastic spring, because it's in the 80s here. It'll be in the 50s and low 40s in a couple days. Yo-yo weather. See you later. Woo.